This is the body, and I'm one small cell in that body. So I'm not separate from the body. I'm not separate from God. I'm within God. Namaste. My name is Bidhan. 2012 is when I chanced upon Upanishads, and it had a profound impact on my life. Since then, I have dreamt to bring the key aspects of Upanishads in a manner which is simple, relatable, and implementable in our daily lives. So here we are with a set of videos to make spirituality simple.
Hi Bidhan.
Hello.
Hi. So it's good to be back, and I'm looking forward to continuing our conversation from last week.
So you found out the answer that you created God or God created you?
Yeah. I thought about it a lot, Bidhan. I know we spoke about moksha in the last session, and this riddle has been, stuck in my head. Did we create God or did God create us?
Right.
Come on, Bidhan. How can we create God?
Okay. So God created us.
Yeah, I mean, that's my answer.
Okay. So let us go to a small child and ask her, before we have kind of told her what is God. Suppose she's not exposed to this concept yet, and ask her, tell me something about God. Will she be able to say?
No, not really.
But she will very understand what is fear, what is hunger, what is love, what is safety. She understands that.
Okay.
Right? That is something which comes very intrinsically. But when it comes to a God, that idea has to be put into her mind. Or anybody's mind for that matter.
Yeah.
Nobody is born with knowing who is God or where is God.
Right.
And that is why there is so much of complications, so much of misunderstandings, and so many divergent points of view, because everybody is seeing things differently. And that is what I love about Upanishads. They have a very all-encompassing view about God, and they say that God is Jagat Karanam Ishvara, Jagat Karta Ishvara, and Jagat Adhishthanam Ishvara. This is God.
You have started again, Bidhan. I think every episode you have to give me something that I don't understand. Please remember your promise. We are keeping spirituality
simple.
Okay?
Alright. Okay. We will break this. When I spoke about Jagat Karta Ishvara, Jagat Karanam Ishvara, and Jagat Adhishthanam Ishvara. And we'll break this, and I promise you, by the end of this session, you will understand, at least intellectually.
Even if I'm not able to say all the words that you're saying,
Yes.
You're saying I'll be able to understand.
You'll be able to understand.
Okay.
Alright. So, tell me, what is your current understanding of God?
I think like an almighty being
Yeah.
who is way up there,
Yeah.
who has the capacity to perform miracles and also probably dole out punishment if we sin.
Sin.
You're laughing at me, Bidhan.
No, it's okay. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself as well. So what you're saying, that here is a God, which is a supernatural being who has created this wonderful universe, who has created us,
Yes.
has created laws of universe, and if we align to those laws of universe, we will basically get benefited. If we don't align with the laws of universe, I'll be punished. And there is an almighty being, an intelligent being who is managing this entire cosmos. And that almighty intelligent being, which is all pervading, all knowing, is God.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is technically known as Jagat Karta Ishvara, the God who has created the world. So there's an intelligent being which has created this universe. Absolutely fine. No wrong in sort of looking at this point of view. Now let us be open to another point of view also. There are a lot of loopholes that scientists find in this argument. They say that if God was there right from the beginning and nothing existed and only God existed, then out of what did God create this universe? Which means there must have existed some substance along with God. If that is the case, then God is not the starting point. And also, who created God? where that come from. So we need to be a little bit open to the other ideas of how do we define God. And there's another way that we look at the idea of God in our system, in our Upanishads. They say that God did not create the universe. God became this universe. So the God is the material cause of the universe. So the entire cosmos that you see is nothing but the body of God.
Right.
And this has been so beautifully explained in Bhagavad Gita when Shri Krishna shows his Virat Roop to Arjuna. Where he shows clearly that he is the one who is killing, he is the one who is getting killed. Everything is happening as per his own will, his own wish. There's a system that is being followed, and that system is he himself. And we are the part of that system, a small part of the system.
Wow. Everything sounds like so divine, I feel like everything is happening for a reason, like what you're trying to say. And it's just that me being a mere mortal, I'm not able to understand what that reason is.
Yeah, if you think about it, one of the analogies that you can bring about is that this is the body and I'm one small cell in that body. So I'm not separate from the body. I'm not separate from God.
Okay.
I'm within God. There are events that happens which I cannot understand, which is beyond my comprehension. But the system works. And this system is God.
Okay.
So the God becomes the cause of the universe.
Right.
Or the material cause of the universe. Right? So the first one was the God created universe.
Yeah, which is our understanding anyway.
Most of the time.
Right.
So that is called Jagat Karta Ishvara.
Okay.
The second one is that God becomes universe, and that is Jagat Karanam Ishvara.
Okay.
So here the God is not separate from us. God is everywhere, and you can pray whomever you want to pray. And that's why in Hinduism you have hundreds and thousands and millions of gods and goddesses.
To give a roop to this, basically.
Yes, to just give a
form,
an expression, a form to the infinity.
Yeah.
You can give any form.
Right.
Right. So how do you feel when you know about the fact that everything around is God? So you're in the body of God.
That, like I said, right, like it all sounds very divine, like difficult to accept. As the first time you're hearing it, it's a kind of difficult to accept.
Right.
But that point which you made about if God did create the universe, then there had to be something else. So that really stuck with me in saying that he's not created it out of something else. He has basically become the universe himself, herself, itself.
See, how do we get stuck with language? So that's the second thing. So Jagat Karta Ishvara, you understood.
Right.
Jagat Karanam Ishvara, you understood. Now let's come to the third one, which is slightly complicated to understand, but I'm sure we will be able to make sense out of it. It is called Jagat Adhishthanam Ishvara. So Adhishthanam, if we convert it, it simply means substratum. Now what do we mean by substratum? And we'll try and understand that first. So I remember you have said that you have been to Goa once and you sat on the beach and you had a very nice experience.
Right.
So what happened when you sat on the beach? What you saw?
When I'm sitting on the beach, what did I see?
Yeah.
So I see a lot of waves, some high waves and some low waves. More like as the water comes into the shore, like foam.
Yeah.
Some bubbles. I think, that would be my picture.
Right? So you interestingly you said that you saw an ocean, you saw waves, you saw foams, you saw bubbles. But if you think deeply, everything is nothing but water. The ocean is water. The wave is a water.
Yeah.
The bubble is a water. The foam is a water. It's a water with a name and form. Right? So the substratum of all of it is water.
Substratum.
The base of a wave, the base of a foam, or the base of a froth, or the base of an ocean is basically
What?
water.
Right.
Right? So that is substratum, that is adhisthana. Right? So what is being told that the God does not become the universe. The God appears as the universe. Just as the water appears as a wave, as a froth, as a bubble, the God appears as this Virat Roop. The God appears as the universe. The God appears as you and me. Everything is nothing but an appearance within God. So God does not become anything. The God simply appears.
Okay. So like basically you're saying, my analogy, the one we use. So you're saying just like the waves and the foam and the bubbles, we are the waves, and everything around us is basically one way of appearance of God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So let's take another example, right? So you love pots, right?
Yeah.
You love pots, I know that. And there are so many pots, different shapes, different sizes. Now, ultimately, what are those pots made up of?
I see where you're going. Yeah, clay.
Clay.
Yeah.
So it is a clay with a name and a form. It becomes a pot. And the pot can be of various shapes and sizes. When the pot breaks, what does it remain as?
Clay.
Clay. Before the pot was made, what was it?
Clay.
And when there is a pot, there is nothing but a clay with a name and a form. So clay is basically the adhishthanam. It is the substratum.
Right.
With a name and form superimposed on top of it.
Right. I understand that now. Similar to the waves and water, you're saying clay and pot.
Clay and pot.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? If you think about it, we are the pot and the God is
The clay.
the clay. Right?
Right.
So the God is appearing as a pot.
As a person.
As a person.
Or anything, not just us, but you're saying everything in the universe.
Everything in the universe.
Right.
And that is called Jagat Adhishthanam Ishvara. That means the substratum of this entire universe is God. And this is a very subtle understanding, because once we understand this, there is a certain amount of realization that comes in. And we'll talk about it right now. So if you think about it, Preeti, the way we look at God, our emotions towards the God also changes. That is called bhakti to some extent. Suppose you see a God as a creator and I am a creation. God as someone who is big, supernatural, intelligent being which has created me. So there is certain amount of fear that how I wish I do not do anything with his creation, that will lead to certain amount of sin or evil, and this is how we kind of look at it. So that is one way of looking at it. So here the God is separate from me, and therefore I need to align to his rules and regulations. So that is the first thing. So there is certain amount of fear, and also there is certain amount of transaction, whether we like it or not.
If I do this, you will give me this. Okay. Yeah.
Right? Nothing right and wrong about it. It's absolutely fine to start there. And there's absolutely okay. But once you move from Jagat Karta Ishvara to Jagat Karanam Ishvara, that everything around me is an expression of God, that I am a part of God, what happens is that you will wonder. You will see everything with a sense of wonder. There will be questions. You will understand more and more, because you start finding divinity in everything around you.
Yeah.
And you will still pray a murti. Nothing wrong in it, because the murti kind of puts the concepts together. That's absolutely fine. But when we start looking God everywhere, suddenly our perspective expands.
Right.
Right. And the third, when we start seeing God within ourselves, that leads to moksha.
Oh, wow. So, okay. Are you saying that that inherent nature that we're talking about is God?
Yeah. Yes. That inherent nature that we have been talking about right from the beginning, that inherent nature, that spiritual being is nothing but
God.
God.
Right. Okay. So I think somehow we always are circling back to that inherent nature, right? Like I feel whatever conversation we have, it sort of ends with understanding or realizing that inherent nature.
Yes, because all roads lead to Rome. Honestly, there cannot be multiple truth. There is only one truth. And you'll see that in the entire Upanishadic wisdom, everything will come back to knowing your own self. And when you know yourself, you understand who you are, you understand what is this universe, you understand what is God. It starts there and ends there.
So I think that would be a great place to dig a little deeper, right? Like to see and understand what is this inherent nature that you're talking about? What is this spiritual being, God, that you're talking about?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's kind of get deeper into that inherent nature, that spiritual nature, and let's see how it goes.
We will. So I'm sure I want to get into it, and I hope that you will explain it as simply as, because today all the 3 points that you made of, I'm not getting the exact words, but how first we think that God is the one who created, God is the creator and we are creations.
Correct.
And the second was about God has become the universe and not created it out of something.
Correct.
And the third, of course, you said God is just the substratum. God, we all appear. There is an appearance.
Yes.
We are all the pots.
Yes.
And God is the clay.
God is the clay. So God did not become the universe.
Yeah.
The God simply appeared as the universe. So God appears as you, God appears as me, and God appears as everything. But ultimately, the base is God.
Perfect. I mean, there's a lot to think about. And definitely we want to get into this conversation of inherent self in the next session.
Yes.
So be prepared.
All right, Pratik, look forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share for all those who can benefit from it.
And of course, leave your valuable comments below so that we can bring you more relevant and good content. Thank you so much.